Tower, Bonanza 19 Kilo. We're 6.3 on the final for 26.
Bonanza 19 Kilo, Camarillo Tower. Altitude, please.
3,000 descending.
And Bonanza 19 Kilo, remain at 2,000 feet. Fly over the airport westbound. I'll call you a turn of the pattern. Skyline 150, keep your spacing in behind the Conquest, good and tight if able.
150.
Yeah, Skyline 150, reduce your speed, go on the downwind, I'll call your base.
150.
Conquest 85 Papa, stand by for the base. Cardinal 829 Charlie Papa, look for a twin Cessna Conquest on your right. He's going wing up left base, advised in sight.
Well, the Commemorative Air Force was formed actually in 1951, and their goals are to develop a entire collection of flying World War II aircraft, and flying is really the key word there because that's what makes them alive and really interesting. We would like to honor the memories of the people, men and women, who built these planes, who flew them, and who worked on them, and preserve a memory, not so much of war, but more of peace through preparation and through strength. I know for myself, so much of this history was something that I didn't pay a lot of attention to in school. And I know that the young people coming up now don't really have a sense of what happened in World War II. And the people they need to talk to find out about that are the veterans and the guys who were there, the guys who flew these things, and we are losing them at a very rapid rate. I've heard estimates even over 1,000 a day.
Mainly interested in trying to preserve and fly and maybe educate people, particularly children, about these old airplanes and so forth.
This is what's really critical. This is what we can't bottle it, we can't put it up on posters. This is something that's living, and when all these folks are gone, we'll have lost a piece of it, but we'll still have the aircraft and be able to preserve a lot. They were taken as very young kids, really, right out of their own families, and the service became their family, and this war effort became something that galvanized the entire United States at a very special time. It changed their lives so dramatically that this brings all that back for them, and I think for many of them this is one of the few places they really do feel comfortable at home.
I have met many friends in the association. We all have a common interest. Some of the people that I am very close to, we are a family of like-minded people.
I look back on my 4 years, and they were good times in my life. The main thing I think it did was give me a sense of self-worth.
Yeah.
Confidence. I guess that's a better word. Confidence. So I said, yeah, join the Air Force.
Because it was a profound time in the history of our country, and it'll never be quite the same again.
Having been involved in that, it has a soft spot in my heart about that type of aviation and what things happened back in that particular time.
There are others who speak the same language that they speak.
B-24s,
747, Lockheed Electra,
B-29s,
DC-10, big C-46,
C-46, China Doll,
707, DC-6, DC-7, 727, Convair 990, of course the Convair 240.
It's a really different environment, it's a different culture, and it's certainly worth getting to know.
Did you like the C-119?
Loved it. Beautiful airplane.
Yeah.
Most comfortable airplane I've ever flown.
That's saying a lot.
It's a 4-inch bomber. It's the first American.
It's a very sentimental thing, both that we're losing our veterans and that unfortunately we've lost so many of the World War II aircraft. Right off the bat, of course, right after the war, many of them were just destroyed. They were seen as outdated and scrap metal. So we lost so many at that point. Now we battle to keep them flying. We battle metal fatigue, which is something you can't do anything about. When you're really dealing with conservation of something, everything has a lifespan. You can try as hard as you can to keep something functioning or keep something even in a static display, but eventually it all kind of goes back to dust again. And so if we're not actively working on these aircraft, keeping them flying, keeping the engines running. Many of them would have stopped by now. And that's a unique part of the Commemorative Air Force, is that we do keep these planes flying.
I go back to being in the CAF as being close to my roots, because it's in a sense where I'm around military aircraft, and you get a chance to fly those again, although we don't have B-24s here, but there is a B-24 in the CAF inventory. And I guess this is what keeps an old man like me going, is the fact that you're doing something you like.
I think that the airline pilots who come to volunteer are rather surprised that they're unable to really pilot these planes very effectively. It takes a long time. Piston engine plane is just a whole different animal, whole different sense of flying. So they have to be retrained really from the bottom up.
There's a couple of things about old World War II engines that stick to your mind all the time. The smell, for one thing. High-octane gasoline, hot engine oil, the roar of a propeller. You don't get that with a jet aircraft. They smell like kerosene.
Yeah,
They hurt your ears.
right. Jets are for kids.
Yeah.
They spit oil and they drip stuff, and they're not clean or tidy, but the mechanics, I think they're drawn to it because it is very mechanical. It's hands-on. And they have to be trained. And again, those skills and those abilities belong to the guys who went through World War II, who took the jobs after that with the airlines.
Well, I flew about everything American had. I could name more of what I didn't fly, I guess. But I flew everything from the Convair 240 up to the 747. I flew practically all the aircraft they had up until I retired.
After the military career, I went on to fly for TWA for 34 plus years, and upon retirement from that I became involved once more in the CAF, in which back in aviation again. So my whole life has been spent with aviation.
Working here, you see so many folks come in who want to share their stories. I've seen people come in and look at, say, our Bearcat and just break down into tears because it brought back so many memories of that time for them that it was overwhelming for them. And then they'll share stories, and we find often that it's almost a therapeutic environment. It's a place where people can come and know they can talk to people who understand. I'm starting to hear stories from my own father that I never heard before, because now I'm sort of in his environment and in his culture. So over 10,000 people a year see our planes at air shows. They give you an opportunity to hear the planes, say to stand right there on the ramp and to walk through, say a B-17 or the C-46, see the inside, sit in the controls, just get a feeling for what it was really like.
Coming in on a wing and a prayer, coming in on a wing and a prayer. Though there's one motor gone, we can still carry on, coming in on a wing and a prayer. What a show, what a fight. Yes, we really hit our target for tonight. How we sing as we limp through the air. Oh, look below, there's our field over there. With our full crew aboard and our trust in the Lord, we're coming in on a wing and a prayer. One of our planes was missing, 2 hours overdue. One of our planes was missing with all its gallant crew. The radio sets were humming, they waited for a word. Then a voice broke through the humming, and this is what they heard. Coming in on a wing and a prayer. Coming in on a wing and a prayer. Though there's one
Touch and smell and just feel what it was. There's nothing quite like it.
We all know that aviation has made great strides almost 100 years ago that it was first brought about by the Wright brothers. And here we are, 2002, next about a year and a half away, and we'll be celebrating the 100th anniversary. And I'm awfully proud and happy that I have a part of that.
With our full crew aboard and our trust in the Lord, we're coming in on a wing